The CFP Semifinals are set. Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, and Texas. Who's got the edge? Plus, we're debating the NFL MVP race, whether tanking works for draft picks, and asking, is tampering in college football as bad as it sounds? Don't miss this episode of the Fitz Take Podcast. What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into yet another episode of the Fitz Take Podcast. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick, but you know you can always call me Fitz. He is your guy, Elijah Nixon, a.k.a. E-Money, a.k.a. Eli, a.k.a. the pride of South Carolina and Connecticut, all them nicknames that we got for you, man. Before we get into anything, we do want to, give our thoughts and prayers to the families affected by the terrorist attack that happened in the city of New Orleans last week. A very unfortunate situation, something that hit close to home for both of us. One of the people that was killed in the situation was Tiger Besh, the brother of former St. Thomas More, former LSU, former TCU wide receiver Jack Besh. Just a very unfortunate situation to see people being killed over such a senseless act of violence. A very cowardice act by the man that was in that situation with what he did. It was truly, truly unfortunate. So from here at the Fitz Take Podcast, we do want to send our condolences, thoughts, and prayers to all the families affected by the situation. And just to stand in solidarity with them, we're going to give just a few moments of silence to remember them by. Thank y'all. It was crazy, honestly, bro. Like, me and you were planning to go to the game that day. I had gotten up early to work out and stuff, and I was looking on the TV and I saw cop lights flashing, and I kept seeing the city of New Orleans pop up. So I had to pulled it up, and was looking at it, and I was like, yo, like this is crazy, man. Like, what did you think when you first saw the news of everything that had happened?
I was shocked. I was really shocked. I know that me, you, and Megan were talking in a group chat, and then basically, when I found out, I was like, whoa, with everything that happened. First things first, I was hoping that something was safe. People, I seen it was already. They had pronounced like 10 people dead already. Um, so I was like, your heart dropped for those people. You're just thinking to yourself, like, you know, you go into the new year thinking that it's supposed to go off in a positive way, in a great way. For some people think this is a new way to turn a corner and lead into a new life, while others are trying to build off of what happened last year. And it's unfortunate to what happened to those guys, to the people that passed away with the terrorist attack. Man, I'm just going to say this, man. It's we just got to have a world where there's more love than hate. I mean, there's no way you have that much hate in your heart to want to kill innocent people or kill anybody in general. Um, Taking a life away from somebody because of what I don't know what he believes in or what he was thinking, but that's horrible, man. So just makes people not want to go outside, not want to interact with other people because of stuff like this, and not want to meet friends. Shake a hand, meet a friend. People don't want to do that anymore because of stuff like this. So people are petrified to go out and have a good time. So it's shocking, but it's the harsh reality that we live in because of this world. Some people have hate in their heart to do something that's hurtful and painful to one another. So my prayers and thoughts goes out to families that was affected by this, and I just hope that we don't see anything like this, no time soon.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, my man. Very unfortunate situation that happened. And like we said, we'll continue to keep those families affected by this in our thoughts and prayers. As we transition into our show, we first of all want to thank you guys that have subscribed to our YouTube channel. I think we're at 352 subs as of us recording this episode on Sunday, January the 5th, the first show of 2025 at 5:19. We're at 352 subs. But while we're talking about subscribers, we are still doing our gift card giveaway. Y'all missed Christmas. Y'all missed the beginning of New Year's. You still got time. If you subscribe to the channel, if you let us know that you are a subscriber, comment below on a post, DM us some kind of way to let us know that you have been subscribed to the podcast. You can enter for a chance to win two $50 gift cards, or one at least. We're giving away two. You have a chance to enter for that. We will announce the winner once we get to 400 subscribers. So we're 48 away. So the faster that y'all tell your cousins them to subscribe, the sooner you can enter for a chance to win that gift card. So we would greatly appreciate that. Also, you can follow us wherever you listen to your podcast from. That's Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music as well. And while you're at it, be sure to follow myself, Elijah, and my production company, One Way Productions, on our social media platforms. They're linked down in the description of this video on YouTube, or simply just go and you should be able to type our names in, and it should come up pretty smoothly for you on social media. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just hop right into our show and go with take number one. It's our first play as we look back at the college football playoff. And we're now down to the Final Four as it stands. Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Penn State are your Final Four teams in the CFP. We kicked off the playoffs going into the new year with Penn State beating Boise State 31-14. And then Wednesday, the first day of the year, it was supposed to be a triple header, but because of the situation in New Orleans, it ended up just being two games. And then Notre Dame and Georgia would be on January 2nd. Texas won against Arizona State in a double overtime thriller. We'll get into talking about that one. Ohio State absolutely curb stomps the number one team in the country, the Oregon Ducks, 41-21. And Notre Dame beats Georgia 23-10 in an upset to be able to advance to the semifinal of the CFP. So, Elijah, looking back at these games, first of all, who was your best win when you look at things? And then out of the Final Four, who do you think has the best shot at winning a national championship?
I think the best win, I mean, I know Notre Dame upset Georgia, but the best one was Ohio State because they put shellacking on Oregon. They told them boys, bite the curve. And they put their foot on their head. Boy, I tell you right now, man, it's not I've never seen, we've seen blowouts, but I just never seen, a game that was so close earlier in the year was so lopsided when it all mattered. Of course, it played a part in with the Big Ten championship, but because they wasn't allowed to play because they lost to Ohio State and Michigan. But I mean, they lost to Oregon and Michigan, but Ohio State came out swinging, and they knew. It felt like they knew that losing to Oregon the first time, it wasn't their best, performance that they put on the field. So it felt like, from the jump, as soon as the ball was kicked off, like you about to get something. And Ohio State did that. And to me, Ohio State looked like right now the most complete team in the college football playoffs because it's nothing I feel like they can't do. They can play defense, they can throw the ball, they can run the ball, they could do whatever they want to do towards teams. It's just, you don't know what Ohio State team you're going to get. So I love what Notre Dame did. Notre Dame did beat Georgia, played well defensively on special teams. They rattled around the freshman quarterback over there for the Bulldogs, but I tip my hat off to Ohio State, man, because again, it wasn't like it was a field goal game or it was like a penalty driven game or it was just lopsided because of the way they handled business. So Ohio State, you got me here, man. You get the kudos from me here.
Yeah, and then who do you think has the best chance at reaching a national championship now? Like you said, you got Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Texas.
See, I had Texas. I did. Texas was one of my ones that was like, hey, they're gonna go because I think Texas is so talented, but it's just like they don't know how to put it together to me. Clemson, they had a huge lead against Clemson. That started to trickle away. Arizona State, they had a huge lead against Arizona State, which they really could have lost that game. Um, yeah, they could have lost that game. It's like uh, so I don't know. I don't think they beat Ohio State. I think Ohio State beats them because it's just like they haven't to put together a complete 4-quarter football game in a while. So I think they will beat them. I think they will. I think Ohio State will beat Texas and get to the championship game. Now for Penn State and Notre Dame, I think Notre Dame will walk in as the favorite because of what they did to Georgia, but again, it's a week-to-week basis. I'm not really sure what you're going to get with Notre Dame. So, but I think Ohio State beats Texas. Now, with that being said, the same way y'all called for Ryan Day job, I need y'all to start doing the same thing for Steve Sarkisian. Steve Sarkisian to me has the one of the most talented rosters. He had it one last year and lost to Washington. He had one this year, lost to Georgia twice. Not only did he lose to Georgia twice, this man is struggling against Arizona State. No offense to Arizona State, y'all played well, got a great head coach. And they struggled against Clemson. No offense to Clemson, they played well, they got the playoffs. But at the end of the day, I think Texas is the most well-rounded roster, but they have this coach to me that is so I don't think he's all of that. I think honestly, y'all should start looking at the same way how y'all look at Ryan Day. I think y'all should start looking at Steve Sarkisian. If he doesn't get past Ohio State, I'm not mad if y'all start calling for his job. Because at the end of the day, boosters are pouring so much money into this program to win national championships. Commitments. They're getting a lot of 5 and 4-star guys coming out of high school, and they're getting some people in the transfer portal. This team is really talented. So, again, if Steve does not make it, and making it is not enough for me, honestly, he has to win it. If Steve does not make it, I'm not mad if y'all call for his job. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, according to Adam Schefter, he's potentially going to get some calls from some NFL teams for some coaching jobs, maybe a head coaching job, just because what he's been able to do. Now, like you said, he's been in some precarious situations. Credit to Arizona State, first of all, before I make my point. Cam Scatterboom, what a running back. And the first time that I got a chance to see him play was early in the season. I don't know if you remember, it was a random Tuesday night. Arizona State goes to Texas State, and they played against them, and Texas State only lost by 3 points. And I think they held Cam Scatterboom to under 100 yards rushing, which is crazy to think about that, right? But when you're looking at some of the best running backs in the country, yes, Ashton Jeanty got a lot of love because of what he did and the pace in terms of records that he was on. But Cam Scatterboom did it in all facets of the game. The boy caught a touchdown pass, I think he did, and he ran one, and he threw for one. The brother is well-rounded, and whoever gets him in the NFL is going to be very, very happy because he is one of your old school. I don't know if you remember, the Cleveland Browns had a running back years ago named Peyton Hillis. He didn't last long in the league, but he reminds me a lot of that. Like, give me the football, get out of the way. He kind of like the way Steve Austin was in The Longest Yard. That's how a white man runs the football. That's his mentality. Get out of my way, watch me work. Let me do what I do. To me, the most impressive win, not because of who they beat, but how they did it, was Notre Dame. Defensively, bruh, like to come out and do what you did. And yes, I know you didn't have Carson Beck in there, and you had a sophomore quarterback who was, extremely coveted coming out of high school. I think they said that he broke some records in the state of Georgia back in high school. So he's no slouch, but to come out and just put a muzzle on that offense to keep them from being able to get anything done. Notre Dame, man, is now going to be a very dangerous team because they were able to win a football game while their quarterback threw for less than 100 yards in the year of 2025 of our Lord. That is unheard of. That's some 2000 Ravens type stuff. Now, of course, he ran the football well. Riley Leonard made the plays that he needed to. He threw one touchdown there after getting a turnover before the second quarter ended. But to be able to come out, hold a team, the number 2 team in the country, to just 10 points, and your quarterback don't throw for over 100 yards, I don't think we've seen that. I can't think of the last time I've seen that. Like, bro, that's some steel curtain defense type of stuff. So they're going to be somebody that you're going to have to pay attention to, because when you're able to stop a team like that, and I don't know how to pronounce that dude's name. Number 44 is Junior. Yeah, this boy, the one that looked like Troy Polamalu, that boy right there. Whoever that left tackle was, he had him playing patty cake, Baker's man, over and over again to try to get something going. He had him in a blender, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that they were able to do that They got that back there to the quarterback. They got 4 sacks in the ball game. Plenty of tackles for loss, 9 to be exact. They forced 2 fumbles, got 2 fumble recoveries. To be able to get that done again while your quarterback is throwing for 90 yards, 3.8 yards a pass is unheard of. It's unheard of. So the Fighting Irish will definitely be somebody to look out for. In terms of the team that has the best chance to win it all, I do think it is Ohio State, because what they did to Oregon, and y'all look, I ain't got no shades up in here. I'll put my for show you right on, because I said going into that week that they had the best chance to get an upset, because Ryan Day knew that his team was being scrutinized, was being talked about for not being able to win the big game and for not being able to beat Michigan, right? So because of that, the message, I'm sure, was all week long, guys, we got to bring it. Because when you're in the spotlight like this and you have an opportunity to make a statement, what better way to do it on the national stage at the Rose Bowl? Let's come out swinging. They went up 34-0 before Oregon could even catch their breath good, bro. And that boy Jeremiah Smith, oh, he didn't won. We thought Ryan Williams was something special for Alabama, and he is. But Jeremiah Smith, dog. 7 catches, 100 and something yards, couple touchdowns in there. Come on, man. Will Howard throwing absolute dots right now. I know offense sells tickets and defense wins championships, but them a lot of tickets that they selling over there. And right now, dog, they're looking good. They're looking good. And they're going to be playing against a Texas team, like Elijah mentioned. They're coming off of a game against Arizona State where they didn't finish it the way that they needed to initially. I think they were up 17 points at some point in that game, and they couldn't finish it. They gave Arizona State an opportunity to win the game, not just tie it, to win it. Sark was making some crazy play calls at the end of that game. Brother was throwing it, and when he needed to run it, like, what are we talking about? So I'm looking at Ohio State as a favorite right now. I don't know if I'll be right or wrong, but I tell you this much. If Will Howard keep finding Jeremiah Smith as quickly and as often as possible, hey man, we gonna see some what is it, scarlet and silver, their colors. We're gonna see some scarlet and silver confetti falling on January 20th. So we will keep our eye on that, as we will now move into the semifinal round of the CFP with 2 games left to play, 4 teams left in it. It'll start on Thursday, January the 9th. Notre Dame and Penn State will go at it at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN. And then that Friday, it will be Ohio State and Texas going at it at 6:30 on ESPN as well. Ohio State is a 6-point favorite. Notre Dame is a 2-point favorite, according to ESPN Bet right now. Obviously, that could change in the coming days, but as of us recording this episode right now, that is how the betting odds stand. Let's go ahead and make some forward progress, and let's go to take number 2. As we're talking about the college football season rounding out, the NFL regular season is closing. As we're recording this episode, there are games still being played. And the playoffs will be next week. But the conversation now points to the awards season that everybody loves to look at and talk about. The biggest one is going to be, who is the NFL MVP? There are guys that have been in conversation. You think about a Saquon Barkley. You think about a Joe Burrow, who, despite the fact that his team probably won't make the playoffs, has had an outstanding year. I think he leads the league in passing yards by like 300 or 400 yards. But the 2 main names that have come up is down to Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. So Elijah, as we get here to the end of the regular season, who is your NFL MVP?
Man, this is the toughest thing for me, because Lamar Jackson numbers are unbelievable. But I'm at to ride with Josh Josh Allen. I'm gonna tell you why. I think with Josh Allen, um, guys were in and out of the lineup, and he was able to put up numbers. You know, they traded for Amari Cooper towards the end. Um, they also Keon Coleman missed a few games. Like you know, they were starting like I think like Hollis was his name. He's like a special team guy. You know, as your right receiver. Um, so Kincaid missed a couple games, so it's like he had to make a lot of stuff happen, and that's why I say you know Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson to me is I think you know if you give him the MVP, I'm not mad at it because his numbers that he put up, but I think like all year I know they even traded for you know Nate Bateman, but I still like Josh. I think Josh numbers speak for itself. I think Josh had some good wins, especially one beating Kansas City. He also beat Detroit. I also think that you know with the world on his shoulders in that Buffalo organization, I think that he did a phenomenal job of keeping things up for the Bills to win, especially leading them to a number 2 seed this year. So again, I'm gonna give it to Josh. I'm gonna edge it out to Josh. But my dark horse really, because I think it's more of a quarterback award. I think it should either went to Saquon or Jamar. Um, that's who my really two dark horses were. But again, you know that probably be an offensive player of the year conversation between those two. So I give it to Josh, and I think Josh should win it for that sole reason that I feel like he had to do more for the Buffalo Bills to win, especially with that bad defense and with his receivers in and out of the lineup and tight end. So I give it to Josh.
You want to talk about bad defense, brother? Trust me, Baltimore Ravens defense
Real
was
bad.
rough
Real bad.
especially in passing situations. I know because they was on my fantasy team for a little while, and I had to take them in and out of the lineup so many times because I was like, my God, y'all keep giving up all these points, brother. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one because Lamar Jackson is him. 4,100 passing yards, 915 rushing yards, 41 total touchdowns passing to just 4 interceptions. That alone is insane. And I know people are gonna say, "Well, he had 1,000-yard rush. I think an 1,800-yard rusher behind him." You can't use that to discredit what he's doing. His offense just fine. Like what you want him to do? He can't help the fact that Derrick Henry is a dog too. And really, if it would have been a couple more situations, he could have been right there with Saquon Barkley to be on pace for Eric Dickerson's record to break it, which I personally think that Nick Sirianni should have played Saquon. I do want to go on record as saying that because, brother, let him get the record. It wouldn't have took him long. Give him the ball 10 times. I bet you he'd have broke the record. Like, whatever. But Lamar Jackson, man, has done something at a high level. And I think it's even more so because of the way that people early in his career scrutinized him and always said that he should move the receiver. He's nothing but a running back. I need my quarterback to be more quarterbacky, all that crazy stuff that people have said about this brother. Yet he's a 2-time NFL MVP. And I believe he should be 3-time. Now, the thing that is going to be heavily sat on his shoulders is that all the 2-time NFL MVPs in the history have won a Super Bowl. It's a lot of pressure in that conversation. But, bro, when you playing this good, you got to go win the Lombardi. You just have to go do it. Yes, the individual accolades are great, and he is deservingly so of getting that award, but you got to win the big one. I know it's a team sport, but you got to go win the big one. You got to go do it, brother. He should be the NFL MVP without question. How close do you think this race will actually be in terms of the voting? I don't know when the NFL honors is the exact day. I'll probably look that up while you're answering. But how close do you think this will come down to between these two guys?
I mean, it's gonna come down to the wire for sure. Only for the simple fact that like we both like you know Lamar Jackson numbers speak for itself. I think you know with Josh Allen wasn't to what he what's not on paper for Josh Allen makes his case, and what's on paper for Lamar Jackson makes his case. So I think it's going to come down to what's on the wire for these two quarterbacks. Because I mean, honestly, I think these two teams they're the same to me when it comes to like defense. I know Baltimore's picked it up in the last few games, but they're kind of the same to me. But I just feel like it's going to come down to probably like 1 or 2 votes, man. Like 1 or 2 votes. Because honestly, what can you say, man? Like, what can you really say about these two? Because it's nothing that if you go one way, it's just like to me with the Heisman. If you'd have picked Ashton, I was fine with it. If you'd have picked Travis Hunter, I was fine with it. Now it's the same way with if you pick Josh Allen, I'm fine with it. If you pick Lamar, I'm fine with it. It's not a one with it like, hey, he's not deserving. So I'm not. I think it'll come down to 1 or 2 votes, man. Whatever sways in what direction.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of dates randomly. I saw like February 6th. It'll be in New Orleans. Yeah, so it'll be unveiled publicly February 6th during the NFL honors at the Sagner Theater in New Orleans, and it'll be on Fox and NFL Network at 8 p.m. Yeah, man, I think that it is going to be a close race, but it's Lamar's. It's Lamar's. Now, obviously, I don't know if the way that you play in the postseason factors into any of this, but if it does, Lamar, you got to do your big one, bro. You got to make it to the big dance. I do want to give credit to Josh Allen because the knock to him was always, he turns the football over too much and all of that. He only had 6 interceptions thus far before playing his game here today, like what we always have looked at. But yeah, we shall see who will be the league's MVP when it's all said and done. My thoughts is that it will truly be a 2-man race. It'll come down to 2 people between Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson and Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. So we shall see. All right, guys, before we get into our flyout segment, our take number 3, we have something that Elijah has in mind, some game or something that we're going to see how this goes. You have the floor, whatever this is going to be called. I don't know.
I don't have a name for it yet. I mean, if you want to help me out and put it in the comments, you can. But Jamarcus Fitz has to name blindly rank 5 things, and then he's a Louisiana native. So him being a Louisiana native, there's a lot of things to do, of course, from New Orleans to Lafayette to Baton Rouge to even you go up north to Shreveport and things of that nature. So it's a lot of things to do, and they all share most of the same tradition. So he has to blindly rank the 5 things without knowing what's coming next. So 1 being the best, 5 being the worst of attending these things in Louisiana. So I'm going to start off with 1 being a crawfish boil. What would you put that?
1 through 5?
1 through 5.
That's 1. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
So that's 1. That's the top 1.
Wait. 2. It's 2 because I think I know what could be number 1.
So number 2. Now this is a thing I never heard of till I got here. So I'm gonna let Fitz take the floor and let him tell you if he wants to explain what it is. But the next thing I want to put out there is a hurricane party.
Oh yeah, people do. Yeah, a hurricane party. When a hurricane happens, everybody puts something on the grill. They go out and they get ready. It's a hurricane party. Yeah, that's hurricane season is every year. Crawfish season is every year. I'm gonna put that at number 3. I'm gonna put that at 3.
Put that 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so a Pelicans game.
5. Sorry. Ain't nobody running to go to no Pelicans game like that. Like, if you just said a Saints game, okay, that might be number 1. That was crazy. Go ahead.
All right, and then you have an LSU game.
That might be number 1. That might be 1. I'm gonna put that at number 1 because ain't nothing like Baton Rouge, bro.
And then my last one is attending the Mardi Gras.
I knew that was gonna be it. I knew that was gonna be it. So I gotta put that 4. I gotta put that at 4. That should be 1. I messed up.
So name the list. Go to the list with it. What was the list?
So that's LSU, crawfish, hurricane party, Mardi Gras, Pelicans game. I know that's 5. I know I got at least 1 right. I know
So
I got one right.
if you had to rework it, what would it be?
It would be Mardi Gras, Crawfish Boil, LSU, Hurricane, Pelicans.
All right, that's just how to act. All right, that's the game. He had to blindly rank what's coming next. He's from Louisiana, so he knows this stuff very well. He's been a part of it for his whole entire life. So I had to ask him that one for the blind rank 1 through
Yeah, boy. Hurricane parties. But that's something. Cool, man. Let's go ahead and hop into our third segment. Take number 3 and let's fly out. With the NFL season closing out, here in the final week, the conversation is always about, for the bad teams, what draft spot are you going to get? And a lot of people have said teams should tank. They should just lose the game so they can get a better draft pick. Like, what are they doing? Elijah, how do you feel about this tanking situation? Should NFL teams should they purposefully lose games in order to get better draft position?
No, I think you should win. You go out there to win. You play to win the football game, basketball game, baseball match, whatever you're out there doing. You don't sit there and you don't try to lose on purpose. I get it. You want the best available player in the draft, but 9 times out of 10, uh, even with the first pick, you're not getting the best player in the draft because you go with the team need. Sometimes the team need isn't the best situation that's needed for that team. So at the end of the day, I just think that no, guys should stop trying to tank. You win football games, you go out there and you play your best football games because one, it could lead to momentum into head into next season. Two, it gives you confidence that you can win a football game. When you win a football game, it's nothing like seeing something goes into the win column and trying to build off of it. When you're just losing just to lose because you just want to have the top pick, that doesn't mean anything because to be honest with you, when you have the number 1 pick, your expectations going into the next year is to suck again. Like, you're not going to be great, to be quite honest with you. So, and I hate to say it like that. Now, with Tennessee getting the number 1 pick, um, I think they deserved it. I don't think they're the best team out there. I think on paper and out there, if you ever watch the Tennessee game, that you're not getting anything out of it. But for people that was questioning, Malik Neighbors a few weeks back saying that, hey, you guys won a game and you may, canceled out your number 1 pick, and then he had the right response. Like, organizations are going to do what they want to do. Let's put it like this: the Giants could be the number 3 pick, 4 pick. I'm not really sure what they are, but they could trade up to that number 1 pick to grab the person that they want. They're gonna do what they want to do was best fit the team. So losing and winning can play a part in it, but the GMs and the owners, this is their time to shine because they have to do with the right moves in the offseason to build this roster to go out there and help win. So winning ball games is on the players, but I think building the roster is on the GMs and the owners. And you have to, if it's a trade, you got to go make that trade. Don't tell nobody to go out there and lose because now you put in your mindset, we have to lose this ball game to go out there, or we don't have to play our best. We don't go out there and compete. If you're not doing that, then what are you out there for? This guy's on the practice squad that's trying to get out there and play and prove that they could be in a league. And you're holding people back that's out on the field already, telling the practice squad guys probably the same deal. Like, it's okay to lose. It's not okay. That's not okay. So, with that being said, Titans, I know they have the first round pick. Whatever they decide to do with it, trade back or use it, that's still up to the organization. Winning and losing is building confidence or is not building confidence with the team. So I think that teams should stop just tanking stuff. They should just stop.
Let me tell you something. Anybody believe that teams go out, practice all week long, and say, all right, y'all, forget everything we just did this week. Go out there and suck. You have lost your ever-loving mind if you think that is actually happening. These guys, a lot of them have played football for their entire lives and get the opportunity to lace them up. Now, not everybody loves football. Some of these guys are just good at the game and they are blessed enough to be able to go out and play every single Sunday. But a decent majority of them, bro, they working hard. They providing for their family. And if you're on a bad team, in a lot of senses, you're playing to stay on the roster. You're playing to keep a job. And if you're not going to be on the roster next season, you're playing so you can go and get paid somewhere else. Think about it. The Bengals are probably not going to make the postseason because as we're recording this, I think Denver is up like 31-0 on Kansas City. T. Higgins balled out this year because 9 times out of 10, he's not going to be able to get paid what Jamar Chase is going to get paid. But you know what? He is going to be able to go across the way to somebody else's place and get paid like a number 1 receiver. So this tanking stuff, bro, like no matter what position you're in, like E said, bro, it's up to the guys in the front office to get the right pieces around the organization to put these teams in the best position to win. So at the end of the year, ain't no conversation of tanking. It's how many Lombardis are we going to hoist? How many trophies are we going to get? Are we going to get an MVP? Are we going to get a offensive player of the year? Are we going to get an offensive rookie of the year? All of those different things like that. Like if you just look at an organization that flipped it around fairly quickly, the Washington Commanders had the number 2 pick last season, right? They get Jaden Daniels. They got Terry McLaurin. They got Austin Eckler. They got pieces around it. The defense is playing fairly well. But the main thing that they did is they said, all right, let's go get a dude at quarterback. And they went and got the Heisman. And now the Commanders are going to the postseason, right? The Denver Broncos, I don't know what they were at last year in terms of their draft position, but I know that they had a decent one because they got Bo Nix. And now the Broncos flipped it around, going to the postseason. But not every situation is going to be like that, right? Because then you can look at a team like the Kansas City Chiefs. They have been near the bottom of the first round the past few years, yet they're always in the conversation of being in the Super Bowl or on a championship run. You know why? Because they have good people in the front office. So no, it's not up to the players to go out there and throw the game and tank. What a general manager look like going to his head coach and saying, you better not win no more games. So you telling me not to do my job. Well, you better not go draft no good players. What are you talking about? It don't make sense. It makes no sense. Let's cut the debate about whether teams should tank or not. Cut it out, bro. Because these guys, it is the players' job to win the games. It is the front office's job to make it happen and give them the pieces to do it, to pay the money to the ones that deserve it, to go get free agents, to go get quality draft picks. And sometimes, see, a lot of people think that good drafting is just about, oh, you got the big quarterback in the first round. No, good drafting is, bro, can that 6th round pick actually be a part of your team and do something for you? Can you go find a Tom Brady? I know I'm throwing out a long shot, but I'm just saying somebody that's deep in the draft that has kind of flown under the radar, but can be an impact player somewhere further down the line. Can you go get that? That comes with having a good scouting department. That comes with having good people within the ranks to know where good colleges are, to know how programs are developing their players, to know if they are pro ready. Having guys that you know that are in there. Like if you look at a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, where Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, like that is a direct result of having a good organization as a whole, because he's able to have pieces around him. That doesn't always lead to Super Bowls and hasn't led that way for him for quite some time, but he is always winning. At least he's giving you an opportunity to win to some capacity, right? So nah, bro, teams should not be tanking. And anybody believes that they should, you tripping. We just gonna leave it at that.
Facts.
So with that, guys, we're going to round out our show with our Fitz Take. And we're talking about tampering and how it affects college football. So this past week, Quinn Ewers, a report came out that he had received a $6 million offer to come back to college football and enter the transfer portal. Also, the UConn Huskies, I believe they won their bowl game this past week, and head coach Jim Mora put out a tweet that said a simple note to the schools and coaches that have blatantly broken NCAA rules by tampering with our players in the last 24 hours. We do know who you are. We will pursue all avenues to hold you accountable. We are excited that we've built a program where coaches have to cheat to beat us, and we will protect that program. Think hard before you tamper with our players. Hashtag just getting started. And yes, they did win. They won the Fenway Bowl. I can't remember who they played against, but they did win their bowl game. So Elijah, like this whole tampering thing, how bad is it? Is it ruining college football? What are your thoughts on tampering?
I think they do it anyway. Like, is it bad? You could say it's bad, but I think it happens anyway. Honestly, I can see in the future with all this stuff going down, people are gonna be making trades with these college people. I'm messing with you. I don't know if that will happen for real. But I know this for sure. I just think that tampering is something that's always going to happen. It's always going to go down. Of course, nobody wants their team plucked. Nobody wants their team getting their best players pulled away from them to go to another spot. Nobody wants that, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen regardless. NCAA doesn't know how to put a cap on it yet. Hopefully, it comes down with it soon. But I really don't see too much of an issue with it because if you're doing your job as a college organization, whatever, I don't think no player that wants to leave can be tampered. I think he'll be staying right there about where he wants to be if you do your part. So at the end of the day, I don't think excuse me, I don't think tampering is bad. Um, I just think that it should be limits to it, but I don't think that any kid would just walk away if he was already satisfied or happy to go to another program. So I don't. UConn. I'm from Connecticut. Okay, Jim Moore. Look, it's gonna happen, brother. You know, nobody wants to play at East Rutherford. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, stores. We're in stores. East Rutherford, New Jersey. We're in stores. Nobody wants to play there too much. We have if Texas comes and Steve Sarkisian or my man from Georgia, I can't think of his name right now. If he comes there and says, "Hey, I got a couple dollars for you. Come here next year," brother, what can you do? Honestly, what can you do? Unless UConn says, "Okay, we got to stop being cheap." The key word is cheap, and say, "Let's give some money out." Then they'll do that. Other than that, brother, get used to it. Get used to it. I mean, even if you snitch on these people, it's gonna happen, man. Like, it's gonna happen. So I guess I'm okay with it to put it like that.
Listen, man. Is it ruining college football to the way that we knew it? Yes, to some degree. But brother, this is it. This is how you got to do it. So it is literally the haves and the have-nots. It is what it is now. In this new day and age, and it is probably why Nick Saban retired, and it's why so many older coaches will slowly begin to step away from the game. But you have to actively recruit your roster every single year. You look across the country, guys are leaving the Alabamas. I think I just saw that Alabama starting offensive tackle hit the portal. Players are going where they can put themselves in the best position now, right now, because not everybody gonna make it to the NFL, bro. It's some 5 stars that they're not gonna make it to the league. So let me get myself either the most bread that I can make to where I can put my families into not life-changing situations, but situational changing situations, like we've said before. You might not be able to buy everybody a new house, but you might even buy one house, put your mama in, and change her life with the type of money that you'll get, right? For the smaller schools, for the UConns, for the Boise States, for the Arizona State is in a Big 12 school, but for your G5 schools, all of those smaller schools and stuff like that. I can't remember who I was talking to about this earlier in the week, but a lot of those schools are going to become like JUCOs. They are. And what's going to happen is, because of the way the game is changing, and I don't know if you saw it, but the NCAA is considering giving players a 5th year of eligibility. So that means you're going to have older college football players involved. You have conversations of JUCO potentially not counting towards overall eligibility. So you're going to have some players to slip through the cracks. Your job is to recruit those players. And if they stay there 2 or 3 years, you got to capitalize on your window, win what you can, compete for whatever championship you can get, whatever bowl game you can get, and then start all over next year. It is the Wild Wild West. It is different than the NFL. It is almost free agency every single year. It is. However, if it's that bad and you have that much information, Jim Mora, bro, report it. Say it with your chest. Get them penalized. Do what you need to do to make them stop. But they're still going to call that old running backs coach back in high school, or they're still going to call his agent. They're still going to do it. They're still going to find back ways to get what they want. Literally. Bro, if I want Elijah to be on my team, I ain't got to go talk to him directly. I can just go call Kira. Hey, if you tell him to get in the portal right now, I got $350,000 and a starting spot waiting for him. Just let him know. And once I do it, here come the rest. It is what it is. Has it changed college football? Absolutely. Is it for the better? We shall see. Because what it has done is it's even the playing field. You don't just have a SEC field college football semifinal. Right now, all you have left is Texas. You have Ohio State. You have Notre Dame. You have Penn State. It's even the playing field. It's allowed at least one G5 team to make it to the CFP. But it's not just 4, 5, 6, 7 SEC teams in the race no more. Now the playing field is even. And it's going to be up to these coaches to continue to do their jobs, to continue to find the best talent that they can. 3, 4, 5-star, whatever. Find the guy that fits your scheme. Utilize him for however many years you can. And if he decides to hit the portal, you hate to see it. It's a tough thing to deal with. Go find another one. And then go find another one. And then go find another one. But you're going to have to do that anyway, because at whatever level you're at, if you're a power 4, he going to get drafted. So you're going to have to find another left tackle anyway. You're going to have to find a starting cornerback anyway. Now, if you're horrible, guys still going to leave because you're horrible. And if you're horrible and guys are leaving, you probably don't have a job. But that's our take. You let us know what you think down in the comments. How is tampering affecting college football? Is it ruining it? Is it making it better? Is it making it worse? What are your thoughts on it? And what will all of these situations look like in the coming years of college football? So with that, guys, we are going to wrap up our show. E, do you have anything else, my man?
No, man, I'm ready for another week of good college football. NFL playoffs start this week. Y'all know who I'm. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait for all this stuff to happen, dog. It's gonna be a good week. I mean, football's slowly going away. Sad about that, but this is the best part of the year because it's playoff football. So.
Absolutely. And don't worry, guys, we're going to have y'all covered. We're going to keep this thing rolling in the basketball season, baseball, softball, all that stuff like that. We cover them all. We haven't been, heavily dabbling in it just yet. But 2025, like I said, we coming alive. We're going to have streams coming for y'all, all this stuff like that to continue making this thing a good product for you guys. Thank y'all once again so much for watching another episode of the Fitz Take Podcast. Remember, if you go ahead and subscribe to our channel and you let us know that you are a subscriber, comment, DM us, let us know. Then you can be entered for a chance to win a $50 gift card. We're giving away 2 of them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to follow us on whatever listening platforms you get your podcast from as well. That's Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. And also follow myself, Elijah, and my production company, One Way Productions, on social media. You can find it linked in the description of this video on YouTube, or just search us on whatever platform you may be on. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for watching the Fitz Take Podcast. Signing out for Elijah Nixon, I'm Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching this clip of the Fitz Take Podcast. Be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also follow me and Elijah on our social media platforms. They will be linked down in the description. And remember, every episode of the Fitz Take Podcast will air right here on the YouTube channel every Monday at 2 p.m. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.